We just made one of the best decisions of our lives. But before I get into that, I have to rewind a little bit. During the pandemic, with being home so much, we realized how much we needed an outdoor space for the kids. So we gave our notice to our landlord that we would be leaving in 3 months at the end of our lease. We started searching for an actual house to rent with a backyard and somewhere for the kids to play. The community where we lived was turning into a place that really didn't want young families. More and more rules and restrictions were being added throughout the year. We dealt with them, but eventually our breaking point was when they told us that our kids could no longer ride their bikes in the neighborhood because, quote unquote, the community was not a playground. It was really difficult to watch our kids ask to ride their bikes and want to go outside when we really couldn't. We did our best to take them to parks and play, but we wanted our kids to have that freedom to just run around and play wherever they wanted to and just be kids. So we started searching, and we were optimistic that we'd easily find a good home to rent, but we were starting to see that the market for homes to rent and to buy were extremely thin. Homes that were once $1,000 to rent were now $3,500 and up. And these were for homes that were in terrible condition. We searched for weeks, and our lease was getting closer and closer to an endpoint, and we were actually starting to worry.
We're now less than a month away, and I'm starting to see that our chances of finding an affordable rental in time were almost non-existent. It was a Saturday morning, and it was actually our routine to get some Cuban coffee, sit down, and drink it together. But before I left, we were sitting down and looking at some more rentals, but we still had no luck. So I just went ahead and left to get the coffee. As I was out, I sat in the car and was really thinking about what I should do. And it was at that moment that I decided we are going to buy a house. Our first home, in the highest point to date in the market. I ended up calling our realtor and I told him I want to buy a home instead. When I came home and told Carlene what I wanted to do, she was almost in disbelief. We had been saving for years for a down payment for a house, but every year that went by, the houses of homes just kept going up. So no matter how much we saved, it felt like we were just getting further and further away from the amount we needed and the reality of actually buying a home. It was Carlene's dream to have a home sooner than later, but she was always understanding and always patient. And to hear this now, it was like she came to life and she was more excited than ever, but also more terrified than ever. Because if we barely had any luck finding a rental, how are we going to find a house to buy in our budget and go through the entire buying process in less than a month?
It was crunch time, and that same day we found a house we really loved. It was only on the market for 7 days in our price range and in the perfect neighborhood. Except it had a pool, and we never wanted to have one since our kids are small. But we were willing to overlook it because it had a pool gate and the house was beautiful. The next day we went and saw it, and in person, it matched the pictures, so beautiful. When we said we wanted to put an offer, the realtor said they already had 13 other offers, and few were cash, as well as some completely waiving the appraisal value. Basically meaning they will buy the house even if the value is less than portrayed. We crossed our fingers and hoped for the best. We were desperately waiting for the phone call to tell us if they accepted our offer. And finally, a couple days later, the phone rang and our offer was declined. We stood no chance with the other offers. It was so competitive, and the worry of finding a rental didn't even closely compare to the worry of finding a home to buy.
Wouldn't that make you mine again? You're all I'll ever need. Didn't I make you laugh? Didn't I make you smile? Didn't I make you feel like you were happy for a while?
So we didn't tell anybody that we were looking to buy a house. But after seeing how this process was going, we knew that we needed a backup plan. So we called my grandmother, I call her Nani, and I asked her if we could stay there if while we were looking for a home to buy, we couldn't buy it in time, as the end of our lease was quickly coming. She was so excited to have us, which is sweet, but we knew that it couldn't be a long-term plan. We still needed to search and search really fast. We kept looking and looking, and in every part of the county we lived in, and we couldn't find anything. Then a week later, on another Cuban coffee Saturday morning, we checked Zillow and we found a house that was posted 20 minutes ago. in the exact location that we wanted to be in, within our budget, and in an amazing neighborhood. We called our realtor and said we wanted to see it ASAP. So we made an appointment for that same day. And as we were driving out, we were seeing how nice the area was. And we were just imagining the possibility of just living somewhere like this. When we finally got there and our realtor knocked on the door, the owner mentioned that she accepted the appointment by accident. She wasn't ready for showings yet. Well, thankfully, she gave us an appointment for a couple days later. And when we saw it, we loved it immediately. Our kids were running out in the backyard saying, "We love this house." And that was everything to us. We knew at that moment we really, really wanted this house. And then we were relieved that we actually didn't get the other house because we really didn't want that pool. We wanted somewhere for the kids to be able to just run around and for us to not worry about them. And so we waited, again, for that phone call. The owner had a lot of offers, many of them, and super aggressive. We don't want to get our hopes up, so we just kept telling ourselves it's okay if we don't get it. But deep down, we really hoped that she would choose us. Finally, 2 days later, we get the call, early in the morning. We were ready to hear. Unfortunately, she chose another offer. And then our realtor says,
"Y'all got a house!"
You got it!
It's a beautiful view. Don't cry, don't make me cry, because I cry at things like this.
Don't cry, Carly.
You're gonna make me cry. I don't want to cry. I'm on a boat. Don't make me do this.
You got the house. Thank you.
After this, it was a huge waiting game and anxiety-filled process. It literally felt like every single thing was a challenge. Sejon's car broke down, and what was thought as a simple battery problem turned into a mystery that was difficult to fix. Then our main vehicle broke down, the only one that would fit 3 car seats, and of course it needed a brand new transmission. They originally did not want to provide a rental for 2 weeks. We were all cooped up in the house, unable to leave and just waiting. It finally got to the point we absolutely needed a vehicle and we got a rental. Our closing was on a Tuesday and it's now Monday, and we are a day away and couldn't be more excited. We were almost home free from the difficult HOA we were living in, making our lives harder every day. As we mentioned in the previous video, the rental we were living in, one of the HOA members came angrily to our door to tell us that they were going to tow our rental that night. The HOA prides themselves on having the most unreasonable rules for parking your car, and because our rental didn't have the resident decal, they wanted to tow it even though we explained our situation. And even though we were parking in our assigned parking spot, it really just didn't make sense. We only needed to be there 2 more days, including moving day. And both of those days, we literally had to park our rental at a family member's house and have them drive us back.
Finally, closing day came, and moving day, and it was smooth sailing. It was surreal. It was crazy to call this place our actual home. The place where our kids would grow up. The place where we would get to know our neighbors. The place that we could actually call the shots. We kept it a secret, we didn't tell anybody, and we surprised our family.
Ay, sí, por acá es bien bonito.
I like this area so much.
Yeah, sí.
Cute. All right, so you see this house right here?
I want
See it?
No me diga que es esa casa.
This is the house we bought.
Esa casa es.
What you say?
This is the house we just bought.
That's our house. That's our
Yep.
house.
Yes, we did. Oh, what'd you turn? Yeah.
¿Qué la compraste?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Turn around.
Oh my God.
For real?
Oh man, I've been trying not to spill the secret.
Qué linda, Dios te la bendiga, mamá.
I'm
Que me lo
so
bendiga.
happy. Why?
Carlene and I, since we've been married, have always been big planners. We don't jump quickly. We always have a timeline. But I feel like what we've been learning is that sometimes you just have to throw away those plans and timelines and just be open to different possibilities. I believe that a lot of amazing and beautiful opportunities are missed when we're so focused on the future and not on what is right in front of us. Are you excited? And right now, what's right in front of us is this new home and the memories we're going to make together and as a family. And we are glad that you're going to be with us on this journey. Stay minimal, friends, and we will see you in the next video.